welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack podcast with myself, Big Mo and Trent. Just a reminder for everybody, this will be our last episode until the week of Monday, December the 2nd. We're going to take next week off. I'm going to be gone, and we'll give Trent and Big Mo some time to enjoy their Thanksgiving with family and friends.
Guys, every family party or social event needs something special. Bubba's Bounce House Rentals, LLC can do that for you. They provide inflatable bounce houses and water slides on top of great service in the West Michigan Lakeshore area. Call Bounce Master Sam at 616-485-0257 today and mention Attack the Rack to get $25 off your next rental. Also, find Bubba's Bounce House Rentals, LLC on Facebook. Bubba's Bounce House Rentals. All we rent is fun.
Guys, let's start with Nick Wright. Now, we all know Nick Wright. He used to be, has he always been with Fox, or was he with ESPN at one point maybe?
I'm not sure. I feel like he was been with Fox. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's kind of a fool. And he's got a clip about Jared Goff that's kind of gone viral. And we're going to talk about what he said about Jared Goff. First, let's show the clip. Producer Dale, roll the clip.
I don't think you can be the best team in the league when you have a civilian at quarterback. Come on. I can't say this team with Jared Goff at quarterback is better than the Chiefs or the Bills. I can't. I won't. In the modern NFL, I think it's very, very difficult to win 3 straight playoff games with a guy, even if he's a good guy, at quarterback. And that's what I feel they have. You can be mad.
All right, so my first question, does anyone know what he means when he calls Jared Goff a civilian quarterback? Does anyone know what the heck that means?
My guess would be that he is just a regular guy making a living in the NFL.
Big Mo, what do you think he means by civilian quarterback?
Well, let's be honest. I mean, the quarterbacks who are semi-successful right now are guys who can elevate or elongate the play, i.e. Patrick Mahomes, Bills quarterback,
Josh
Lamar
Allen.
Jackson, Josh Allen, thank you. Those are the guys that, seem to have had the most success recently, right? After Brady, who was more of a pocket guy.
More of a civilian, you would say?
What's that?
Tom Brady's more of a civilian, you would say?
I mean, I'm not calling Tom Brady a civilian, though. Nick Wright might. But obviously it's a disrespect to Jared Goff. It should only fuel the Lions' fire to bite a few more kneecaps. But I will say, until Jared Goff wins another huge game, right? The game last year to get into the NFC Finals was a semi-big one, but I think my fear at the beginning of the year is Jared Goff good enough to get us? Because he's got every weapon, and his defense is manageable, not great, but also not as bad as it was 5 years ago. So the pressure is going to be on Jared Goff. This is either he takes us to the next level, or we got to find someone who will.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, you brought up a good point. He's won a lot of games in the last year and a half. The second half of 2 seasons ago, and then last year, and then obviously this year at 9-1, won a ton of games. Won 2 playoff games last year.
And he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, didn't he?
Yeah, he did go to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
He did.
But he has not won a Super Bowl yet. And the question that, Big Mo, you brought it up, based on the weapons that he has, is he good enough to win a Super Bowl with what he has? statistically speaking, I find it hard to believe when you look at yards, completion percentage, touchdowns, lack of interceptions. Obviously, he had the 5 picks in one game 2 games ago. The last 2 years, he's got to be top dog when it comes to statistics. In all those categories, I'm sure he's near the top. But stats don't tell the whole story. I think, I heard Nick Wright on Colin Cowherd today, and seems like, he's a huge Mahomes guy, thinks Mahomes is, already on Brady's coattails as the GOAT. And obviously in that clip, he brought up Josh Allen as well. I mean, let's start with how do you feel Goff compares to a Josh Allen and a Patrick Mahomes? Obviously, Big Mo, you kind of answered that already, being, saying, talking about how those guys can extend the play with their athleticism and their feet. Trent, what about you? Where do you think Goff, lines up with Mahomes and Allen? And I think you got to throw in, let's throw in the other guys too. Where does Goff rank among, or how does he compare to Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, another guy that can extend the play with his feet, and Josh Burrow? And I think Herbert is making a huge comeback now to be in the argument for one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, and stats wise, Goff is top 10. He's 10th in offense. So completions, attempts, yards, all that good stuff. I would compare, it's hard to compare him to scrambling quarterbacks or guys that can do that roll out and run type stuff. Although he has shown sometimes this year that he can get those yards if needed. It's not like hey, we need you to rush for 40 yards every game type thing. But I would put him in the same category as Stafford and Kirk Cousins.
So second,
pocket passer. I think he's good enough to win a Super Bowl with the Lions. I do believe that. But I wouldn't lump him in the same category as Lamar and Mahomes.
I did see a thing today too. Somebody posted it, and it's kind of funny because it's a meme, and it's got Goff's picture and Mahomes' picture, and above Goff, in quotes, it has civilian, and above Mahomes it has GOAT, and it just shows their stats. So this year, Goff 73% completion percentage, Mahomes 69.5. Goff 2,492 yards, Mahomes 2,404 yards. So very comparable in yardage. Here's kind of the a little bit bigger difference. Goff 20 TDs to 9 interceptions. Again, 5 of them were in one game. And Mahomes 15 touchdowns to 11 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
That is. But I think if you throw Mahomes on the Lions,
well, that's a good way to compare it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mahomes on the Lions would be probably one of the best teams ever.
So, I mean, I think what you're trying to say, and I was going to bring this point up too, is if you want to compare the weapons that these guys had to work with, I think Goff has better weapons to work with than Mahomes and Allen.
Agreed.
And Lamar, even though they do have Derrick Henry, but our running game with Gibbs, and I would take Gibbs and Montgomery over Henry.
Yeah, I think we have one of the best supporting roles, position player wise, offensively in the NFL.
Yeah, we have the best line.
Yeah. And the best offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, if Goff can go win a Super Bowl, then he will not be considered civilian. He's still going to win. But if he trips up, you've got everything in place besides a Ravens awesome, amazing defense, right? You've got a quality defense, guys who, if you're healthy, you probably got a top 15 defense, I think, if everybody's healthy. So it should just fuel golf, and it should fuel the Lions to have people talk like that about them, because right now they are the best team in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, Big Mo, is Goff good enough to win a Super Bowl? With Goff, are the Lions good enough to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, I think Rodney Peete could win a Super Bowl with this group. Maybe not Scotty Mitchell, but hey.
Or Charlie Batch, or Joey Harrington.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie Batch, I'll take. Joey Harrington. No, he's definitely good enough. I think he needs a Super Bowl to be considered a step above that. Just it's like Brock Purdy getting him to the Super Bowl last year for the 49ers. Like, he'll never be considered a great quarterback unless he goes and does it again and again. And I think that's where Goff is at. Like, Goff has been, his numbers speak for themselves that he's a better than average QB.
Yeah.
But you got to have that Super Bowl probably to get to the next level.
Right. Let me throw out 3 other quarterbacks for you. And you tell me where you think Goff compares to these guys. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy. These are the 3 starting quarterbacks that the Chiefs have defeated in the Super Bowl. So let's say the Chiefs come back to the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, I think the Bills probably are the favorite now. We'll talk about that in a minute. But where does Goff compare to Jimmy Garoppolo, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy? If the Chiefs and the Lions meet in the Super Bowl this year, will this be the best quarterback, Jared Goff, that the Chiefs have had to face in a Super Bowl?
That's tough. Because Hurts is a weapon with his feet.
And Hurts was really good that year.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurts is the best quarterback out of those 3.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Hands down. So I don't know that.
I prefer Goff in the air over Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts that year, I think, threw the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's thrown it as well as he has that year since. But
no,
I would say, based off right now, Goff would be the best quarterback the Chiefs would face in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Out of those 3, those last 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I would think so. So.
Yeah, I would say they're close, but give me Goff. I think Goff. I don't know. He can control a game. He doesn't ever seem fazed by anything, which I love. Give me Goff.
Yeah, what I like is he had that 5 interception game and then came back this past Sunday and just played awesome.
Yeah, what a bounce back game.
No, you would never guess that just a week prior he would have thrown for 5 interceptions in a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that about him a lot. Just seems unbothered by anything like negative that happens.
All right, so that question was kind of based on if the Lions and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, a lot needs to happen for that to happen. Let's start with the NFC. The Lions getting there. What team in the NFC scares you guys the most, or teams? Are there any?
Probably the Eagles. Then probably, maybe like Minnesota or Green Bay.
Yeah, and
Green Bay always spoils people in the playoffs, which makes me nervous. But
we already did beat both those teams. We got Green Bay at home. Was that Minnesota game? I think that was at Minnesota, wasn't it?
Yeah, at Minnesota.
So we got them at home too then.
Yep.
I
just think playoff Packers are always a team that you can't really count out no matter what.
Well, and that was could be a little different now that they don't have Aaron Rodgers too.
Yeah.
Big Mo, NFC team that scares you the most?
I agree with Trent. I think the Eagles are the one team. They're playing well. They know who they are, so they're not trying to like fool anybody. Um, I don't think anybody else scares me.
What's interesting is going into the season, we were probably scared the most of the 49ers. And
Yes.
obviously, they played most of their season so far without Christian McCaffrey. He's back now. Neither of you guys mentioned the 49ers. Now that McCaffrey's back,
No.
do they come into the picture at all? The Lions do play the 49ers this season as well at the end of the year, towards the end of the year.
Niners don't worry me that much. I don't know why, but I just don't.
Purdy, I mean, obviously, Purdy's hasn't been great. They've had some injuries.
Yeah.
So even if I mean, what's their record right now? We got to check on that.
5-5.
Yeah.
That division is 3 of the 4 are 5-5, and the Cardinals are 6-4.
Crazy. Yeah, dude, the Cardinals have been kind of up and down this year. Do they scare you guys at all?
No,
No.
We beat them in Arizona, and we didn't play well.
Right. But
if the
since then, the Cardinals have been playing better.
if the Cowboys were good, they would worry me a little bit. But they've been at their point differential at home is minus 200.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're just dysfunctional.
Yeah, they're a mess.
Dysfunctional Dallas.
Speaking of Colin Cowherd, I'm not a huge Colin Cowherd fan, but I was listening today when I was out driving around. And he threw out Cowboys firing McCarthy and then bringing in Deion Sanders and tanking the rest of the season. So bringing in Deion Sanders to be the head coach starting next year, tanking the rest of the season, which they may not even need to tank to end up with the number 1 pick. Get the number 1 pick and draft Shedeur Sanders. What do you think of that?
Well, do they still go by record?
Yes.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 teams with 2 wins.
And the Cowboys have 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the Browns, the Titans, Jaguars, the Raiders, and the Giants all have 2 wins. And the Jets, the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Panthers all have 3 wins.
Yeah.
I think McCarthy needs to go for sure. But also, like, essentially, how many coaches do you need to bring in with the same group of guys to like try to make them successful? It's been the same crew of guys through 3 coaches now, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Dak is not great. CeeDee Lamb is an outstanding football player, but is probably a bit of an issue in the locker room since he likes to just yell at everybody. Maybe Mr. Jerry Jones needs to take a step back and figure something out or switch some sort of – you got to change up something. Something has to happen.
Well, and you got to remember, too, that Dak Prescott signed that huge contract, so they owe him a lot of money.
Yuck. Yeah, they're 0-5 at home.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Go do it. It'd be a Dallas thing to do, and then
it
wouldn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, maybe it would. I like Deion. I loved him as a player. I think he's a little bit arrogant as a coach. Again, I mean, if he's got his own words, he's got probably the top 2 picks.
Yeah,
in the next NFL draft. So probably the top 2 players in college football, and he still hasn't beat a real team this year.
Right, and he had the same 2 guys last year, and they sucked.
Yeah.
Shedeur and Travis Hunter didn't suck. I'm saying
No. The team was not very good, but but that would be a Dallas. I mean, that would be like iconic Dallas. Let's go get Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Or whatever way that worked. But it would make a good show, and that would be up Jerry Jones's alley to bring in Deion and all this fanfare and.
Wait, did they trade?
They traded.
Yeah. And when Jerry Jones came in and bought the team, he fired Tom Landry and hired Jimmy Johnson. So that was one thing Kyler was saying too, is like old school Jerry Jones would like do these crazy things on a whim, take these huge swings, huge risks. And now Jerry Jones isn't so much like that, hanging on to Dak Prescott, not, hanging on to Jason Garrett for however long, not firing
Yeah.
McCarthy last year. It's like now he's not really taking these big risks, big, swing for the fence moves, where it's either home.
Well, how big a swing would that be? You get rid of your coach, you bring in Dion, you
Yes.
probably got to get rid of your quarterback and bring in a rookie.
Yeah, that would be one of his biggest home run swings that he's taken, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, when's the last Cowboys rebuild?
They've been rebuilding since the late 90s, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. They've always had high expectations.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
never
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Cowboys are going to be bad this year. It's
Right.
never like that.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, watch out for the Cowboys, and then they just suck, and then everyone's like, well, what's there to watch out for?
They were supposed to contend for the NFC this year.
No,
And
0
Dak got hurt, but still,
5 at home.
that's terrible. And they weren't very good before Dak got hurt, so let's not make that as an excuse either.
You know what they should do? Jerry should make a point, and they should just go play at a local high school next week in Texas.
Yeah.
See if they can squeeze out a win on some grass.
All right. So, and then the other thing, again, back to the original question about Chiefs Lions. Again, Chiefs, no, obviously they're, I would say they're not the favorite anymore because the Bills beat them, but there's some solid teams and some solid quarterbacks in the AFC. Big Mo, of the AFC, what team or teams kind of would you least likely to see in the Super Bowl if you're the Detroit Lions? Now, and don't forget too, we do play the Lions do play the Bills in the regular season yet too.
I think just quarterback wise, I don't want to play Lamar Jackson.
I was thinking the same thing. They beat the crap out of us last year. We could not.
Yeah.
He just runs wild against us every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Running quarterbacks always seem to just we don't do well play. We don't play well against them.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go with. I mean, I'd probably say them. I think because they'd match our physicality.
Yeah.
They'd match that kind of demeanor. I think they have a team like that, and that would be a thug fest, like a pound each other to the ground type of game. So I'd rather play somebody else. And you probably don't want to play Mahomes just because it's Mahomes, but we beat him last year.
Exactly.
I would almost prefer Mahomes over Lamar.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'd prefer Mahomes over Allen because Allen's a little bit more like Lamar than Patrick is.
Yeah.
Josh Allen does a little bit more on his feet than Mahomes does.
Yeah. But just like weapons wise,
yeah,
the Ravens have the most weapons, like on paper.
Yeah.
With Henry and then Zay Flowers and whoever else they throw to. Versus the Bills, who surprised me this year.
Yeah, kind of
I still don't know who he throws to.
Yeah, I mean they got the old Sparty receiver Cooper, not Cooper.
They do have Amari Cooper.
Oh, did they get him?
Yeah, Amari Cooper.
Yeah. Well, who are you thinking of? Sparty.
Coleman.
Coleman. But I mean, those guys are they haven't made. I mean, besides Cooper, I would say his Bills group is a little unheralded as well. Like there's some no-name guys in there that are playing well.
Yeah, and their top tight ends out. I'm not sure how long, but it'll be a good measuring stick when the Lions play the Bills.
How do the playoffs work again? Like who gets in?
Well, the 4 division winners and then 2 wild cards.
So the 2 best records outside the division winners.
Yeah.
So currently it would be Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, and Kansas City. And then second best would be the Chargers and Baltimore.
That is 6 very good teams.
Yeah.
Can you quick compare it to what the NFC would look like?
Yep. So if playoffs started tomorrow, it would be Philly, Lions, Falcons, Cardinals. And then the 2 extras would be the Vikings and the Packers.
Okay.
Potentially Commanders because they've played 11 games.
Okay.
Our
Wow.
division's only played 10.
What a difference. What a difference between the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah, that's going to be the AFC will be a lot of fun to watch, the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just because of the matchups are going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would probably have to say the team I wouldn't want to play is Baltimore. And they might not even get in if they drop another one.
Wait, what's the Broncos record now? Nick's been playing
6-5.
Okay, so they're still in the hunt.
Chargers 7-3.
Yeah. Huge win against the Bengals on Monday night.
Yeah. The Bengals choked again.
2 missed field goals.
They might have open tryouts for kicker.
Yeah, was it 2 missed game-winning opportunities in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, he missed. He might even have missed 3 field goals.
And then after the second one, there was still enough time for the Chargers to come down and win the game.
Yeah.
In regulation.
Yeah, let's see what he was.
Jim Harbaugh is killing it over there.
He was 2 for 4. Yeah, 2 for 4.
Yikes.
Not great.
Well, hey, so when we come back here the week of the 2nd, the Lions will have had 2 games between now and then that we're not going to get to kind of preview. I know it's a little bit early here, but first game, Colts this Sunday. What do you think of that?
We handle business.
It's at Indianapolis, so it's indoors. Gotta like that.
Yep. We're a 7-point favorite.
Oh, wow. And now they're back with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. I think we win by double digits.
Okay.
We're cooking right now.
Big Mo?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, you do on the road, it's always a little bit closer, so they probably cover. I don't know if they can play any better than they did last week.
I hate to keep bringing up Colin Cowherd because I am not a fan, but he made another good point today. You know, obviously the Lions have some injuries on defense. They're missing some key players. Personnel-wise, they're already not the greatest. Now, we have seen guys like Branch turn into a superstar this year, but there's some gaping holes on the defense still. But what he was saying is, you know, the thing is with the Lions offense, the Lions get up 17 points, 20 points already towards the end of the first half. And now the opponent's offense, now they're going to have to pass. The Lions know they have to pass, and that makes it a lot easier to play defense with maybe an average defense. I thought that was a pretty good point. Especially, he brought up now the edge rushers. They know that a pass is coming, so all they need to do is just go get the quarterback.
Yeah, when you make a team one-dimensional, it's pretty in favor of the Lions, which is sweet. How about the cheapest ticket for that game, according to ESPN, is $223.
Wow,
And that's the most by like $70.
holy cow!
Philly and Rams are at 170, just about 167.
Lions are the hottest ticket in the country.
Yep. How about that? And like
That's close enough where Lions fans it'll be mostly Lions fans.
there's gonna be a lot of blue in that stadium.
It'll be all blue.
Yeah.
A lot of Honolulu blue.
All right, and then Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, tradition, Lions always play home game on Thanksgiving this year. The Chicago Bears are coming to town, and I think the wheels have fallen off that bus.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Bears-Lions game Thanksgiving Day at Detroit.
I hope the Lions beat them just like they did the Jaguars.
They very well could.
That'd be great.
Well, I don't think the Bears can score enough to beat the Lions. So
No.
the Bears could play their best game, and they're not going to have enough points to beat the Lions.
What do you guys think of Caleb Williams at this point as the season's kind of starting to wind down?
I feel like it's the same cycle they went through with Fields. They bring in all these position players, but then they don't find an offensive line to be able to block for anybody, and then blame it on the quarterback. So I think it's similar to what they just went through with Fields. It's like it just feels like the same thing with the different quarterback. I think he'll be okay. He's a rookie, so. But yeah, they need some blockers. They need somebody to protect a quarterback.
Yep, can't rely on the QB, man. You got to get a running back, O-line. They got a solid defense, but I think they're putting the ball in his hands too often.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny you bring that up because PMT podcast, pardon my take, Barstool, forget what day it was. Might have been last Friday. They had John Gruden on. John Gruden now with Barstool Sports. And Big Cat, huge Bears fan, was asking him about the Bears and Caleb Williams. And, he was talking about the wide receiver. The weapons are there. You got Keenan Allen, who formerly was the number one wide receiver. Your DJ Moore, you're paying him number one receiver money. You got Adunze now, who's probably a future number one. So you got three very good receivers. You got a very capable running back in Swift. But yeah, offensive line, obviously an issue. But he was saying a lot of the quarterback sacks that they're getting are actually a result of Caleb Williams just holding on to the ball too long. So he's saying a lot of the sacks aren't necessarily the offensive line's fault. A lot of them are Caleb Williams' fault himself. And he said exactly what you said, Big Mo. They're relying on him way too much. Whether he's rushing the ball, with the amount of times he's gotten sacks or the ball is in his hands for too long, he's passed their passing game. He feels like they're throwing it way too much when they should be running it a lot more, trying to get maybe more of a balance attack with the passing and running. And then if you can get Caleb Williams to throw the ball away instead of holding on to it, you might see him have a little bit more success.
Yeah, he does. He does hold on to it for too long at times. He always tries to do that, like what he did at USC, run around and hopefully someone gets open and he can just dodge enough tackles to make a play. And that doesn't work in the NFL near as much.
No, you can get away with that in college, but not the NFL.
Yeah, you get like one or two guys to miss, and then you got to throw it. And after that, it's pretty much a dead play.
Yeah. Anything else you guys got on your minds before we get into the top three and wrap this episode up?
Nope. There is some good college basketball on tonight.
Yeah. Well, Michigan State's playing Samford, right?
Purdue Marquette at 9.
Okay, nice.
That'll be a good one. I guess that's the only game. That's it. Purdue Marquette.
Okay. All right. Top three this week or this episode. Let's go top 3 vacation spots. So, or weekend getaway spots. Trent, you got that wheel.
Yep. And with first choice, we have Big Mo.
Ooh, I'll go number 1.
Okay.
Second choice, we have myself. So I'll take third.
All right. And then obviously I will go second. Reminder, top three is brought to you by Realtor Ryan Kruitoff.
Real Estate Ryan has been in real estate for over 20 years and can help you with all your real estate needs. Realtor Ryan has helped me in my journey in learning about real estate, and he can do the same for you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just learn more about real estate in general. Ring Realtor Ryan.
And let's get into it, Big Mo. What do you got?
I'm going Disneyland.
Now, are you say, I just want to make sure you're saying Disneyland. Now, Disneyland's out in
Disneyland
California.
down in California.
It's better than Disney
Uh,
World.
well, I enjoyed it. I
Wow.
enjoyed it. The one time I've been there, it was obviously it was a father-daughter trip. And we're both into like the Marvel world a little bit, so that took it up a notch.
Okay.
Nice area to vacation. So
Yeah, what was like the best attraction or like because they have like different. It's all
you know, some are
based on
different, but there are some that are same. They're just like called different, I think. Like
okay.
I mean, it's the Tower of Terror is like the Guardian of the Galaxies now. I don't know if that's the same in both spots now, but
Okay.
they've got the Marvel universe there.
But
Yeah, I'm trying.
they don't have like Epcot Center and the Animal
No,
Kingdom and the water parks,
no,
right?
I think they've got two parks there.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, good solid, right next to each other, so it's easy to walk.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go second, huh?
Yep.
I'm gonna go, and I know this is probably a little bit general, and I'm sure Big Mo's gonna give me grief for this, but I'm just gonna say a cruise. But I will maybe specify in the Caribbean where the weather's warm. Usually, I've been on a couple now. You stop at a little, day trip in Puerto Rico or Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Jamaica. Maybe I said that already. So I like the cruise. I think it's a resort on water. Always things to do, all inclusive, meals, drinks, always a great view out into the ocean. You can choose to stay busy all day finding activities, or you can just lounge. So I'm going to say cruise.
Nice. With my first choice, I'm gonna go with give me Siesta Keys, Florida. That was always like the spring break spot. Throughout
Window
high school.
Mullers.
Yeah, we always go there, and then I got to go there probably 3 years ago, and like actually experience it, party wise. So
Is
it
it
was
more, is that on the Gulf or the Atlantic?
it's on the Gulf,
Okay, nice.
but they have a cool little like downtown area. They call it the Village, and it's just like a bunch of different bars and restaurants. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a good spot. And then my second choice is going to be Boulder, Colorado.
Oh,
Went there for my senior year of college spring break.
really?
Yeah, a ton of fun. Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
That's an interesting spring break. Spring
Yeah.
break was what
There's like 9 of us that went. Just pretty much hiking around and different mountains and stuff like that. But it was pretty sweet. And then we went on campus at Colorado, and that was very nice as well. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. I'd like to go back in the summer and like play some golf and kind of get the summer vibe, because we had a mix of like warm weather and then it snowed. So there was like it was a weird mix of both. Because I think our first day was like mid 70s. And then it just like gradually got colder, and then we ended up waking up one morning with like 2.5 feet of snow from where we were. But I feel like I'm not a big snow guy. I don't like snow. But I feel like when you look out like your back porch and you see mountains, snow is acceptable,
Okay, sure. Fair enough.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it should snow. We have mountains in our backyard.
Yeah. All right. Well, with my my second pick here, I'm going to stay in that area out west. I did a somewhere between 8th and 9th grade 2-week trip out west, and I think we did Yellowstone Park, phenomenal. But one thing I really remember most is the time we spent in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Hmm.
Great little town, great views, just relaxing, slow living. So if I could do another kind of big vacation someday, I'd like to go back out west.
Yeah.
Well done, Kurt. Well done. Much more, almost specific there. It's just it was still three or four different cities, but we got you. Okay.
Well, the thing is like, you say Yellowstone Park, but that takes up how many different states are part of Yellowstone.
Well, he didn't even say Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Japan, Disney France. I think we'll count Universal in there as well.
My favorite vacation spot is the United States of America.
Yeah. Mine is North America.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
The Western Hemisphere.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two.
Oh, okay.
You get two.
Two in a row.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Key West.
Nice.
Key West, Florida. I think I've been down there twice, I think now. So just relaxing, different areas, lots to do. Obviously, it's a different type of town, so fun stuff to do. So Key West, and then I'm going to go, even though this will be slightly funny, even though I had fun, Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that it wasn't an all-inclusive place, I don't think. It was, so that made it just kind of like a different experience because, you're not locked in one area, even though I got sick and I was staying inside for about half my trip.
Oh,
That
really?
Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you say, Kurt?
I said you got sick for half your trip?
Oh yeah, we ended up eating at a like a local place,
Oh.
and I had the tortilla soup,
Yeah. They said
which was
tourists.
phenomenal tortilla soup, and then it wasn't so phenomenal.
Didn't like you very much, did it?
It didn't like coming out. That's where I'm at.
Woo! Woo!
But all in all, it was a great trip with some good memories.
Nice. All right, I will wrap it up here. My third pick, man, I'm gonna say specific.
Oh, hold on. Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna say Detroit, Michigan, but it's gonna be Memorial Week for the Movement Festival in Hart Plaza, Detroit, Michigan. Big festival. I went there. I haven't been there in a few years now, but went for like 12, 13, 14 years in a row. Big shout out to Dan Van Hecken, Dan Morales, Yubi, Eddie Solis, if any of you guys are out there watching. Great memories. Seen some of the best DJs in the history of the world at that festival. Detroit, Michigan, where techno music was invented. Nothing like a little Detroit techno. So I'm going to say Detroit, Michigan, Memorial Weekend Movement Festival, Hart Plaza.
All right. I got one more, right?
You got one more. You're going to wrap it up here. Last pick, third round.
Give me. I need to go back, but give me Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, and what's so special about Charleston, South Carolina?
Just a very, very nice city. Good food on the beach.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very. It is kind of bougie in a way, I would say. It's kind of higher end type, but yeah, it's very, very nice. I liked it a lot. I'd like to go back.
College of Charleston is there now. Would you say it's kind of like a college town too, then, or no? Or is it more?
I think it's a good mix. It's a very touristy place, though. Lots of tourists. You're not going to get just like the regular townies that live there. But yeah, it's a good spot.
All right. And Trent, you said you only had 3 on your list.
Yeah, unless you want like Fort
what else
Wayne,
you got?
Indiana.
What's that?
You want like Fort Wayne or South Bend or Flint.
Hit up Gary, Indiana.
Flint, Michigan.
Are these all places you played AAU tournaments?
Yeah, I guess you could throw Vegas in there.
I was gonna say, what about Vegas, Trent?
Yeah, you can do Vegas. That's a decent one for 3 days. Depends how much money you lose.
Yeah.
3 days might even be too long.
Yeah, you don't need more than 3.
No.
Big Mo, outside of Vegas, any other that come to your mind?
I don't mind an up north trip, like get a weekend away,
True.
find a cottage. I'm not a huge camper, but had a couple nice camping trips out in the middle of nowhere where you at least get to shut off from society a little bit. I had a good trip to New York last year. That was fun. I wouldn't want to go back very often, but it's a little too much for me. But it was cool one time.
I want to go back to New York City too. I've only been there twice, and it was both just for a day. So
Ooh,
I'd like to go back.
yeah. You probably need at least a day or two to kind of see everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I always like going up to Shanty Creek and playing some golf up north.
Well, that's what I was going to add. A golf weekend away doesn't really matter where it's at.
Yeah.
You can play a couple extra rounds. A little golf trip would be always good for the heart.
Yep.
Yeah. I had Disney World on my list. I was hoping not to have to use it, but I do have Disney World.
So cool.
Yeah. I got London, England on there, and then I have Traverse City, Michigan on my list. So
Pretty good spots. Although I've never been to Europe before.
yeah. I recommend it.
Yeah, I would like to do that sometime. That'd be fun. But I feel like I need to take what's a good amount of time? Like 2 weeks?
Well, I've been to London 3 times now for a week at a time, and
Is that enough, you think? A week?
no, because I've been there for a total of 3 weeks and still haven't seen nearly everything,
True. Yeah.
And London is just as big as New York. So it'd be like, how long would you want to, but then there's so much more history in London.
I'd like to be in New York for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Well said, Chuck. Well said.
Thanks. It's not as much my style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, guys?
That's all I got.
That's it.
All right. Enjoy your week and a half break. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, fellas.
You as well.
And we'll see you when we get back. Week of December 2. We'll see you then.
All right.
Sounds good. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.